All right. What's up, everybody? It's that time of night. About to get it in. I'm getting my chat pulled up, so y'all are gonna have to bear with me for a second. Y'all are ever wondering if this is a fresh milk jug every time? It is. Real milk. Not fake milk, all right? Let's get our chat pulled up. Sorry guys, hold on. I'm coming. I'm on the way. I gotta get chat pulled up. We gonna lift things. I promise we gonna lift things. I promise. What's up, Eric? What's up, twins? You are first today. You are first today, Eric. At least it looks that way at the moment. Yes, you are first today, Eric. All right. Oh, no joke, you actually got it. It actually hit your docs. That's crazy work. That's crazy work. All right. We're here. All right, everything's loaded up. Everything's loaded up now. Chat is loaded. I can see all the viewers. All right, we are in it. Let's get our warm-up going. Ooh. We got a full night of lifting, guys. We got a full night of lifting. What's up, Daniel? Happy Wednesday. We never skip leg day. Never skip a leg day, Marty. Absolutely not. We squatted yesterday. We literally did squats yesterday. I understand it, Marty, I do. Can I call you? Probably could. Why would I do that though, Eric? What would be the purpose behind it? Why would you want to become ChatGPT? Yeah, as soon as you tuck them. It's crazy. I've talked about it, but it's something you can literally test, Eric, like you did today. A lot of people don't realize that. You can throw your elbows out and feel that shoulder strain, and as soon as you drag them in, you feel that tension on that unnecessary tension, you know, come off the shoulders. It's great. It's night and day for a lot of people. So, night and day for a lot of people. Okay, let's grab this. We got just a little 225 on the bar. Nothing abnormal, nothing heavy yet. Felt good, felt good. Felt good. All right. Do I believe that I have a big ego? Why would you think I have a big ego? Mixed Marshall. It's something you just have to train yourself on. So honestly, I've never run into that directly correlating, but I guess it's something I can pay attention to. I've gotten very cognitive, obviously. As often as I bench, it's a very cognitive process for me to lock my wrists into place, essentially, like get them straight. I always like double, triple check myself, but that's like almost automated for me at this point. Being someone that specialized in bench and still specializes in bench, it's almost robotic, the movement. It's very, very step oriented, and it happens kind of like that, like without thinking about it. The more you bench, and the more you do it the correct way, repetitiously, you're going to start to notice that you don't even think about the process. You kind of just go through the movements kind of fluidly. I don't know what you're talking about, Mixed. What's wrong with the title of my stream? It only counts as a big ego if it's not true. I like my titles personally. That's not mental gymnastics. I don't do gymnastics. I do powerlifting. Not really into gymnastics, I'm gonna be honest. No defensiveness. There's no defensiveness here. I'm not going to defend my title. I don't have to defend the title of my stream. I'll take a look at it, Eric. I don't know that I've ever seen, I probably have seen that curl variation, but maybe not called that. So I'll take a look at it. Here, I can actually pull it up. I've got my laptop today. It's called by Bayesian. I'm looking up. For some reason, the name doesn't ring a bell. Oh, yeah. I do those actually. I do those. That's a very common curl. I've actually never heard it called that. But we've done those on stream a few times. I honestly didn't know that was the name for that. So now I know the name of it. I've just always called it an isolation curl. It's isolating your bicep, which I mean is a correct name for it. But I'm gonna tell you, every single exercise that exists has like 2 or 3 different names depending on the region that you're from. So. I've had exercises I've been doing for years that people come in and they're like, you ever tried this? And they say it and then they do it and it's like, oh, that's this. And it's a whole different name. Even in like exercise libraries where it's like recorded for like business purposes, they'll have this exercise under two different names. The same exercise. But I've done those. They're definitely effective. We might do some tonight. Who knows? What did we do last night? We did cables last. We won't do it tonight because we did cables last night. But I had chicken tonight. I had chicken and potatoes tonight. Chicken and potatoes. It's delicious. Delicious. I do like some chicken and potatoes. We did chili last night. Tonight we did chicken and potatoes. I don't know what we're doing tomorrow. I think we're planning a mac and cheese. I'm not sure. It's Taco Tuesday. It's supposed to be Taco Tuesday. You can't say Taco Wednesday. That's not right. It doesn't work right. What's up? Keep it real. Welcome back. I do enjoy chili. I'm a big fan of chili. So I feel like my angling's a bit off on the camera, guys. Hold on. And it's gonna bug me if I don't adjust it. Hold on. There we go, guys. I think that's slightly better. Ugh. Let's see. I'm trying to make sure that angle's better. I believe you guys like that angle better. Is that better for you guys? We'll work on the angles here in a minute. All right. Let's grab this 315, guys, and then we'll move on. So we're going to hit this for a quick single, and then we're going to increase it by 10, and then we'll see how high we go tonight. There is no spotters at this gym as the normal, so I appreciate it, Eric. What's up, Rich? I do not have an answer for you, Rich, yet. I will get an answer for you. It seems like you're going to get another chance, Rich, but remember, if you do get back in the next 24 to 48 hours, take it seriously, Rich. But we will have an answer for you shortly. We will. It looks like you're going to get another shot, Rich. He's coming back to the Discord. He's coming back to the Discord. Potentially. No guarantees, but potentially. No, not quite, Dawn. 135 overhead pressure, 4 reps. That's solid work. It's solid work at 17. Solid work. All right, 315 moving nice and smooth. Let's add another 10 pounds. Need some fives. I need some fives, guys. Five guys. Not sponsored. I need some fives. All right. All right. Tree 25 is our next press. You're at your strongest in jail. Probably the salt content. Usually, are you talking about largest or are you talking about strongest? A lot of people are at their largest physically at that time because of the salt content of their diet. They're always a little swollen, and then when they leave, they shrink down a little bit because their sodium intake drops pretty significantly, and that's a legitimate thing. Sodium content in jail and or prison, because they are different things, guys. Jail and prison are two very different worlds. The salt content is a lot higher than in the normal everyday free world. So salt will cause you to retain water, and then you'll look puffy. You'll look puffy. But it helps hydrate it does help hydrate you. So a lot of people don't realize this. One of the reasons you need sodium is to properly hydrate. There's a balance your body needs to be in when it comes to sodium and liquid. I don't think that's the plan, Don. I'm gonna be honest. There's a balance. Nice, Rich. Nice. Solid work. Let's see. How are the chickens? Chickens are doing well. Chickens are doing extraordinarily well. They're chickening, all right? They're very good at chickening. All right. Let's toss up this 325 right fast. Let's toss up this 325 right fast. And slap on another 10. I don't know that I've ever used grok. Not that I have anything against grok. I just haven't tried it. I don't really use X or Twitter or what I call it. And that's where grok's at, right? You just heard Discord. I don't use Twitter actively, and I don't use Threads actively. And that's because I understand the concept of both of those platforms, and I will post things to them, but I don't typically scroll them because I understand the idea behind what they're doing. So it's like an instant release of feel-good chemicals as you scroll through. You're getting that instant gratification of new information constantly. And it makes it very difficult to pull yourself away from it, right? And then you're constantly looking for that instant news, instant everything, right? I have definitely put myself in a position in life where I don't crave instant gratification with like information. I don't mind looking into stuff, and like I try and avoid stuff like that because it's not all good information, and you start to absorb it almost instantaneously, right? You just see, you believe, you move on. And I feel like that's very dangerous. That's pretty cool. I've seen grok in action. He definitely seems like a pretty powerful AI tool, but I don't know. I try and avoid, and I avoid Instagram's Threads as well. So at one point I was trying to actively use Threads and post to it, but I have a problem with Threads where I'll find someone, because I get a lot of fitness related content, as you can imagine, right? So I've never been to one, Grandma Sue. I probably wouldn't, to be honest, but it just depends. I can see pain relief as an acute thing from chiropractic being good, but I don't feel they're like a long-term solution to most issues. There's certain things that I'm sure they're good for. But I think it's more of a temporary solution for most things. Like you got to continuously do it. If it works for you though, definitely utilize it. But so I avoid it because I get a lot of fitness content on Threads. Now the problem with Threads is like a giant pool of everybody that knows everything but knows nothing simultaneously, right? So I can't tell you how many times I've been on Threads and seen verifiably incorrect information from fitness coaches, like stuff that you don't even need certifications to know is wrong, right? And you're just like, this is verifiably wrong. This is factually incorrect, and it's dangerous even, and they will defend it, I don't know how long exactly. It was like 3.5 years, Drew, or something like that. 3 to 3.5 years, I think. I don't know. It might have been 4 years. I'm at 5 years of lifting now, Drew, and my PR is 365. So I got into this habit on Threads of finding these fitness posts where people are being verifiably incorrect, and sometimes boldly lying, for views and clicks, right? And I would argue with them for hours, right? And I had to stop myself, especially people that are pushing like specialty diets, like these people that are pushing vegan, or the people that push like carnivore. Like these are not good health choices by themselves. The other things that go with them generally are good health choices. They're good overall, but they're not the end all be all, right? Like vegan is not a good dietary choice by like as a diet, and neither is, you need carbohydrates and you want some fruits and stuff like that. Carnivore is not by and large the best diet either, right? I would say carnivore is a better option than vegan, but it's still not ideal. But you can't argue with people that don't want new information, right? So, which is fair. We all do that. Like even I do it. I'm not looking for new workouts, right? I'm not looking for that information, so you can't come in. You wouldn't be able to come in here and argue me into trying something I don't want to do. But it's also, I'm not going around and telling other people to do certain things that are verifiably incorrect, right? Whereas these people are like, if you go vegan, you're going to gain muscle faster than if you do a balanced omnivorous diet, and your health is going to be significantly better, and all of your health problems are going to go away. And it's like, no, we know this isn't true. Like we can verify it. What's up, Joshua? All right. What's up, Pete? It sounds about right, twins. It sounds about right. Yeah, easy work, easy work. What's up, Nathan? How you doing? Ugh. We're gonna go up for one more, and then we're gonna do a drop set. We're gonna go up one more and then do a drop set, guys. Are you talking about the Bulgarian training method platinum build? You're talking about the Bulgarian training method, like lifting multiple times. My routine is very similar to that method. Not exact, but it's very similar. I didn't do it on purpose, but it is very similar to the Bulgarian training method. I do 6 days a week, maximal effort, maximal loads, full body. I don't do twice a days though. I don't do twice a days, which I know is the traditional, but. Both Pete, both tonight. Potentially. We squatted last night. We sometimes squat some weeks we do 6 days a week. Yes, I hit every muscle group every day. Platinum. 6 days a week, sorry. I do take Sundays off. Just to hang out with the family. Like I said, it's very similar to the Bulgarian method. I do take a Sunday off. That sounds like a top tier title, Eric. I might make that my next title. Eric, you can't tell me the title doesn't get people talking, all right? That was 325. We're gonna do maybe 335, or sorry, that was 335. That was 335, Nathan. We might do 340 on the next one. So generally not, Rich. So all right, here is my take on the rest recovery time for that method. Let me grab a weight and then we'll talk about it. So the Bulgarian training method has very little rest time built in, right? Purposefully. There is a risk involved, and yes, it works. It definitely works. I'm going to give you the short answer first. Bulgarian method, it works. If you condition yourself to not get injured during that process, right? So conditioning, diet, sleep, all of those things are going to play a role, right, in whether or not that's effective for you. Because if you get injured, obviously its effectiveness drops pretty considerably. But that's why the Bulgarian method is known to either be super effective and win competitions, or for people to get hurt. Like, it's one or the other. Either you succeed or you fail horribly. Like, there's not really an in-between, right? Because it's not easy. It is an advanced programming technique. It is not for people that are new to lifting, and it's not for people that aren't taking it seriously. You have to be taking it seriously, you have to be well conditioned, and you have to be someone that has the experience to know when to pull back ever so slightly during a workout to avoid things like injury or over-exhausting your system in a single workout, right? Because you have to do it again. So there is definitely some key items there that you have to be cognitive of. I've not only tried other programs, but I also have programmed other people for other lifting programs. So I've seen other programs work, and I've seen programs work really well. I've seen programs work kind of okay. I will tell you right now, no matter what program you're doing, right? If you're showing up for every workout, you're going to see results with almost any program as long as you're doing it, right? Every program, everything that you do in the gym has an effect on you, right? If done correctly and if done consistently. It's when you don't do it consistently, you don't see results. There are programs that are more effective at other things, sure, but Bulgarian for strength, I have found it to be one of the most effective programs. All right, let's grab this. We got 340 on the bar, guys. There's people that lift more often than me, Eric. What's up, Saray? Happy Wednesday. All right. 340. Let's grip it and run it. Let's go. Yep. But yeah, it just depends. Like if you don't program well, and if you don't pay attention to your body, any method could be detrimental, right? So it could injure you, right? But if you're doing things correctly, generally you're going to be okay and consistently. I don't clip my bench. If you're getting elbow pain, it could be weakness in one of your accompanying muscle groups. You could also be locking your wrist too far back if they're not up straight. It could cause wrist pain or it could cause elbow pain. You could be flaring a little bit too much. Usually that's going to be shoulder centric if it's a flaring issue. There's a lot of things that could cause elbow pain. Elbow pain on the bench isn't as common as like shoulder or wrist pain, but it could be something like maybe your forearms aren't appropriately trained for the weight you're lifting. There's a lot of things that could cause that. You could also be bringing your grip in here, but keeping your elbows out far, or you could bring your elbows out too far and leaving your, or too far in and not putting your wrist in the proper position. Could cause you to have an awkward positioning with your elbow and to put stress on that joint. And if you're putting stress on that joint, it could cause pain. There's a lot of things. A lot of people like using elbow sleeves on the bench when they have elbow pain. I'd say it's less common than shoulder pain on the bench, but it does happen. So Bulgarian is primarily focused on the rule of specificity, right? So you're doing your, whatever lifts you're doing in competition, you're going to do a lot of that, right? So for me, Bulgarian is primarily going to be your bench, your squats, your deadlifts, but it's mostly all compound lifts for me. But the Bulgarian method was originally created for Olympic weightlifters, right? So the lifting lifts were a little bit different. So still compound movements most of the time, but you can use it. It can be used for isolated movements. But specificity is super important. You want to train like you lift in competition to some extent, right? So you're not going to catch me doing burpees, right? Or doing snatches. Like that's not going to happen typically in my programming. It's going to be a lot of bench accessory, a lot of squat accessory, a lot of deadlift accessory. Which is everything really. And then I do my other compounds and my other isolates, like my tricep isolates and my bicep curls and tricep extensions and overhead presses. But all of those are accompanying my standard squat bench deadlift routine to help make those stronger. So. $490 at the moment, Pete. I'm not sure. I will message you in Discord tomorrow. Either way, Rich, with either answer. All right. I will. I don't think we'll add you back tonight just because it's so late. And by the time I leave here, I'm going straight to sleep. But tomorrow you'll know either way. But I have a good feeling, Rich. I have a good feeling. Anything under 350, I don't typically need a spotter, Nathan. Anything over 350, I typically grab a spotter. So 340 was very doable. I'm comfortable up to 350 without a spotter. Chili recipe. I will post the chili recipe. I will post a chili recipe. It's very simple chili. It's very simple chili. Most of my stuff, because of my diet, are very simple recipes. Delicious, but simple. All right. 315, we're going to do between 1 and 3 reps, depending on how it feels once we get it de-racked. I'd probably get a double at least. We did 4 yesterday. It felt pretty good. So maybe almost got a 5-piece yesterday. All right. I'm good. I'm gonna skip on the party. I'm gonna be honest. I don't do parties. I don't do parties. All right. How's it going? How's it going? What's up? What's up? What's up? We lifting things right now. I turn down parties often, Aldo. I don't do parties. I don't do parties. Not my gig. Not my gig, I'm gonna be honest. Nice, nice. Good stuff. Lifting is top tier. Lifting is top tier. I appreciate it, Average Joe. No, we're not going to be doing that, Pete. I can assure you. Yeah, I'm not big on parties. I'm a solo. I like lifting. Lifting is my party. All right. Lifting is my party. All right. All right. Let's grab this again. But yeah, I'm a power lifter. Power lifter is my gig, all right? I do enjoy my powerlifting. All right, another 315. We're gonna do one more rep here, and then we'll do our drop set. We'll probably do 250 on our drop set tonight for 7, something along those lines. But let's go ahead and grab one more rep at 315. Probably gonna do a pause rep here. So we're gonna pause very shortly at the bottom, like very, very brief pause at the bottom. So the Popo found you. All right. Always on the bench. Where you been at, Mark? Late. It is 37 minutes in. You were late. Once in a blue moon, Joe, we'll stream earlier. Generally, it's kind of late though. Is Moss in here right now? I haven't seen Moss yet. All right, we got a 7-piece to go, guys. So we're gonna go 250 tonight for our 7-piece. No, I've never benched 500. I will though. Give me time. I'm not kidding. 7. I'm very sure I'm getting 7. 365 on the bench is my PR at the moment. Three, 250 is not a significant amount for 7, Mark. Might even superset it with some curls, who knows? For everybody, it's gonna be slightly different, Rich, but usually it's just above the hip, but below the rib cage. It's like right in here, right across the soft part of your abdomen. And low back. That's typical for belt positioning. Some people like it a little higher, some people like it a little lower, but it should be about there for everybody, approximately. All right. drop set. There's our drop set. Easy work, easy work. Whew. We got curls next of some sort, guys. Curls next of some sort. Felt pretty good. Didn't feel bad at all. All right. We are doing some kind of barbell curl. I don't know if we're doing the easy bar or if we're doing a straight bar tonight, but we're doing a bar curl for sure, Mark. It was already decided, Mark. We had already decided that. All right. In fact, I might change it to dumbbell curl now. Might change it to, would guys want a dumbbell curl instead? Do what I want, Aldo. You don't run anything here, Aldo. How long have I been working out? 5 years total. Tonight I've been working out for about 42 minutes. Dumbbell curls are great. I'm not doing dumbbell curls tonight. We're gonna do easy bar. We're gonna do easy bar curls tonight. Because I haven't done easy bar curls this week yet. But does my family lift? No, not really. But mostly just me. But there wasn't really an inspiration, like a person that inspired me to lift. I kind of just like got a gym membership because I wanted to get stronger and gain weight, and then it just kind of snowballed. That's essentially how it went down. There wasn't really a precursor other than the surgery or like someone that was like, this guy, I want to be like that. That wasn't a thing for me. A lot of people, that's great if you could find that, but that's not how it really ramped up for me. The heaviest I've been is right now, around 180 is the heaviest I've ever been. I'm 177 at the moment, but around this weight, this is my heaviest body weight currently. I did not work out in high school. I mean, you did gym class, but I didn't do like weight training or anything like that. So I didn't start working out till 5 years ago. I've only been working out for 5 years total. I'm 30 years old. So I didn't start working out till I was 25. Not anytime soon, no. Permanent bulk, permabulk. Yeah. Discipline's the way, right, Rich? Discipline's the way. All right. Let's add 20 pounds to it. What's up, Coco? About 300 grams of protein a day, give or take, Edgar. Yes. If there's anything to know about the Northeast, is everything is more expensive in the Northeast. Down here in good old South Kakalaki, it's nice and everything's affordable down here, generally. I was born in Massachusetts. I was born in Massachusetts. All right. We're gonna grab this, and we're gonna grab this for like a triple, maybe a 7, somewhere in there. So. I'm doing well. How you doing, Brandon? All right. Yep. All right. Next up, a single and then maybe a drop set. Oh yeah, they're great for lifting. They're great shoes for lifting, 100%. Nice and flat, you get a good stable base, you can really drive through them. I do quite enjoy my wrestling shoes. What's up, Bryn? We're feeling good tonight. Look, Mark, I'll wear anything from a person that's not currently lifting. All right, Mark? We've always assumed this bar was 20 pounds, I think was our roundabout number, so, because it doesn't actually have a weight on it. So it was like 90, 110. That was like 130, 135 at the most for a triple. It wasn't anything substantial. No, we're gonna go 145. No, I feel like you still have to lift, Mark. They complement each other, all right? Ugh. I don't recommend that, Tyler. Don't do that, Mark. It's a terrible idea. Honestly, we've never done a leg press PR, Nathan. We've done sets of 7, but we've never done a leg press PR. I've been up to around 900 pounds, give or take, but that was a while back. I don't leg press on a routine basis. I usually do squats or some variation of squat, deadlifts, leg extensions, lunges periodically. So I know what most of the bars weigh in here, but this bar is a cat bar, and there's a few different versions of it. So when you look it up, there's like 3 different weights that it could be. At one point, so you could sometimes weigh them if you have a scale that's accurate enough, because you can't really lay it down on the scale because it has the curved bar, but you can kind of set it straight up and down, and you can get an okay estimate, but it's not super accurate because of the way the scales are. You had to get one of those scales that you like hang it up. Are we talking about heights again, Mark? Mark, we had a conversation about heights the other night. All right, we all informed you that 4'11" is a perfectly acceptable height, Mark, and that you should feel good about it. That's not perfect, but it's around 20 pounds. I mean, I could probably do that. I could probably do that at some point. But that's a conservative number anyways. It's not going to be less than 20 pounds. It might be 5 pounds over. I'd be happy with that. That's how you weigh your cat. Solid work, David. Solid work. Tuna straight out the can. That's what I do in the morning. Right before I get out of bed, I snort one whole can of tuna. And that's how I wake up in the morning. And then I take the tuna juice at the bottom and I just mix that in with coffee. I couldn't even say it with a straight face. Oh, that's awful. That sounds terrible. Solid work, Jamal. Solid work. That competition ain't too far away. You gonna put some big numbers up. I believe in you. Put some big numbers up. Let it blow the competition away. All right, let's grab this. Yeah. All right. Let's add 5 pounds. Let's add 5 pounds, get a single. Yeah, I know Jamal. He's not bullshitting. Jamal's 100% with that. I don't think he's not gonna lie about it. He competes in the same meets that I compete in every year. So if you go watch my last meet, that was Jamal recording me in that meet. No, I don't think that's the case, Mark. I don't think that's the case. I feel like you're distracting yourself, Mark. I feel like you're distracting yourself. That's what they made ChatGPT for, Mark. All right? That's what they made ChatGPT for. All right? Scan that in, let it handle it for you, you know? Yeah, I know Jamal. Yes, in real life. We lift at powerlifting meets together. We've lifted, I think it's 3 meets now. 3 meets we've been at the same meet. So strong dude. He's a strong dude. You guys should follow him. He's got socials where he does his lifts. You can see his 500 plus squats and everything else. Strong dude. I don't know. I think we took a poll, Steven, because I don't actively measure them, but we took a poll. We're pretty sure my forearms are 19 inches. Pretty sure that's what we decided. No, I don't measure actively, but we're gonna assume 19-inch forearms. All right. So it depends, Jamal. Last week I squatted 4 times. This week we'll probably squat 5 times, maybe 6. So. At 19, easily, Mark. 19. I'm pretty sure my wrists are 13 inches. I believe you, Brent, 100%. I'm pretty sure my wrists are 13 inches, Mark. It's just camera angling is why you don't see it. All right? Camera angling is all it is. It's a wide angle, you know. All right. Have you done the Wordle tonight? Or the new Wordle isn't out, I guess, yet, Bryn. I was going to ask if you've done the Wordle yet. But yesterday's Wordle was ridiculous. Ridiculous, yesterday's Wordle. Ridiculous. I got locked in on a certain word yesterday and could not get that word out of my head, and it was just like stopping me from progressing in my Wordle goals. Yeah, they just sent out the first email for the the follow-ups for the lead up to the meet, Jamal. If you ain't seen it yet, they just sent an email out tonight. with like the announcements, the start of all the announcements for it, with I think the lifting cast attached to it, so you can look at the roster. So I think everything's kind of locked in roster-wise at this point for the most part, unless someone changes something or someone drops out, I guess. But they just released all that stuff tonight that I saw. That's the one, Bryn. That's the one. I don't even use the hints on the Wordle. I refuse to cheat the Wordle. The Wordle is sacred, all right? The Wordle is sacred. I don't use the hints, and I don't use any outside source of information. It's just me versus Wordle, all right? Me versus Wordle. All right, let's grab this for a quick single, guys, and then let's move on to we'll do triceps next, I guess. Let's get set up for these triceps. I appreciate it, Nathan. I appreciate the subscribe. Appreciate it. It helps out a lot. It helps out a lot. All right. Well, we're going to be doing some tricep here tonight, like we normally do. So let me grab my rope. Here. All right. You don't run things here, Aldo. I do what I want. You notice how the gym's empty, Aldo? Notice how the gym's empty? All right. I have no one to worry about currently. I can take as much time as I feel necessary to re-rack those weights. I might not re-rack them till I'm done with the workout. There's no one else in here. I'm perfectly capable and okay doing that. It's wonderful how it works here. All right. Let's get warmed up on the triceps, guys. Set of 7. Set of 7. I think short-term AI is going to cause a lot of issues, but it also solve a lot of problems. There's a lot of things we don't expect to be happening with AI that are going to happen. Like, I think there's a lot of things we haven't predicted yet with AI as far as like effects. Now, we generally have an idea of like what it will affect, but how that overall effect will affect us long term, we don't know yet. You know, everybody has that, oh, your jobs and everything else. Like, yeah, those are real effects. But I'm sure my thought process is there's going to be after effects of AI doing that stuff that we haven't even started to talk about. And obviously, a lot of the AI systems we have right now, like ChatGPT or Grok or whatever else, right? These web-based AI systems, they're all very much like restrained and reined in. The real AI, like very powerful kind of open-ended AI, is stuff that we don't have access to. Like, there's AI, there's versions of ChatGPT, I guarantee it, that are way more advanced than what we're allowed to use, right? Because ours is the one that we can access generally as the public is very reined in. There's a lot of parameters, you know. Now, I will say that AI has a lot of great uses, but it is resource heavy. Seb is correct. It is resource heavy. So we do know that. But it's weighing it, right? Is the resources spent on AI worth the gain from the information obtained through AI? Because obviously AI can think faster than any human being and develop data and conclusions and information way faster than humans, right? And it has a database to do it. As humans, we have to find the information, to like decipher and absorb said information, and then use the information. AI does that instantly. Meanwhile, we have Mark over here using ChatGPT to do his multiplication tables. So, when did you on Wordle? That's another part of it. Like, guys, don't think that ChatGPT isn't storing everything you ask it, right? Everything you ask an AI is stored somewhere, all right? It's basically like studying really fast, right, Mark? So it says 305 on the block pounds, but obviously with any cable machine you have pulleys, obviously mechanical advantage involved there. So it's not 305 at handle, but that's what the block weighs. Yeah, that's an interesting question. I think it's at 30 stories you would reach, I feel like you'd reach the ground a lot faster than you think, right? You'd reach terminal velocity pretty quickly, right? So I don't know if you could reach it at that height. 30 stories sounds really tall, but is it really? Is it really when you come into the grand scope of things? Like, that's not even cloud height, you know what I'm saying? Maybe it's cloud height. Who was it? Did you guys ever see? You guys have heard of like the myth that you throw a coin off of a building, off like the Empire State Building, and it like would crack someone's head at the bottom or something like that. Like, it's dangerous. I think, was it MythBusters tested it, and it actually wouldn't. It might give you a headache, I think, but it wouldn't be significant enough to like hurt you physically long term. Mm-hmm. But the MythBusters disproved it. So what do I think AI is going to do to the fitness industry? What do I think AI is going to do to the fitness industry? I think that the fitness industry, hold on. Here's what I think, right? So this is honestly the route, and this isn't me just like shielding my job, right? It's my real life thought process on how it's gonna affect the fitness industry is, if AI was going to be a huge disruptor for coaches, we would have had that disruption years ago, right? Not because of AI, but because there has been very, very effective fitness applications and fitness programs that you can do without a coach, right? Without a live coach for a decade or more, right? Since the advent of the internet, there's been online fitness coaches, right? That are very, very good at getting you to lose weight or put on muscle using programs that are proven, right? Because a lot of it's just math, right? So the problem with the idea that AI is going to replace coaches overall is the fact that if you've been in the fitness industry from an employment standpoint, you'll know this to be true. People do not want to work out on their own, and they don't want to work out with an app. They don't want to work out with AI. They want a physical coach that looks like they know what they're doing, right? At a minimum, they don't have to sound intelligent. As long as they look like they know what they're doing, they want to work out with that person in person. I have had people that will pay, I'll be like, hey, I have a program, right? It's 1 month on this program and it's $50. I'll hand you this program right now. Do it word for word, letter for letter, $50. Here's a program, right? And I've done that. And I've offered it as an alternative to in-person training. In-person training is like sometimes as much as $50 per session, right? It can be up to $100 an hour at a lot of places, right? Sometimes more, right? So here's a month's worth of programming for $50, or you can meet with me once a week and pay me, a few $100s a month. And they will, even when told they'll get the same results, almost always opt into in-person training. Why? Because people want that human element when it comes to training. Yeah, then that's actually not an awful rate for a lot of big box gyms, Nick. So if you're an independent trainer, you can charge a little less, but most in-person training is at big box gyms runs around that rate, anywhere from like $60 to $100 an hour, depending on the gym and the specialties, right? If it's just general weight loss, you might be able to get in around $60 an hour at most gyms, because the gym is taking its cut, obviously. With individual trainers, I've seen as low as $20 a session for an hour is about the base rate for most new trainers. So no, so $50 is about roundabout for membership, sure. But like when I was training for Move Fitness, each half hour session cost around $35, right? So it was about $70 an hour to train at Move Fitness with a trainer. But it was about $35 per half hour, or around $65 for an hour. You get a little discount, somewhere in that ballpark on average. You'd be surprised with that stuff. Yeah, it's about average, Mark, out here in South Carolina, 60 to 65 for an hour. A lot of people, Mark. A lot of people. It's that's about I've seen the most training I've ever seen someone sign on for at one time. The most training I've ever seen someone sign on for at one time and actually pay for and attend is they were doing hour-long sessions 5 times a week. And that equates to like 300 and some change a month. They're paying like $350 a month for training, give or take. Coming for one session, 5 days a week. They're paying like 300 and some change, actually more, hold on. Sorry, 300 a week, I think. Like almost $1,000 a month is the most I've ever seen someone pay. Somewhere in that ballpark. I'm not doing math right now. So whatever 65 or 60, yeah, that's per week, Nathan. Per week is the most I've ever seen someone spend per week on training. People will pay to get results. Now, as an independent trainer, right? as an independent trainer, you can offer a better rate. So most independent trainers out in this area charge anywhere between 20 and 40 a session. So all right. Actually, believe it or not, even online coaches that are doing virtual sessions are charging like $30 an hour now just to phone in with you for like 20 or 30 minutes. Not even showing up physically to your gym session. They phone in virtually from their home, and you just put them on a tripod off to the side, and they talk to you through some headphones. They're charging like $30 a session nowadays. So, and I see people using the service. It's not something that people are trying to get that money. They are charging that, and they are being paid. And honestly, a lot of people don't realize why training is expensive, right? Hold on. So training costs what training costs, not because of how much you are doing in the gym, right? As a coach, your costs are also outside of your training session. So if I'm programming your workout, right, I'm going to be spending, maybe, a few hours a week if you're training with me multiple times a week, a couple hours, at least an hour a week, maybe multiple hours a week, separate of our training, just to program you, right? And that's if it's not super intricate. And then you have dietary needs. So constantly, hold on. That was a 90-pound dumbbell. I'm pretty good at training, Aldo. I've been doing it a while. Fairlife isn't a requirement of my program. It's not a requirement. It's heavily recommended. No. There is parts that people don't see. You have programming that you do separately. I'm sitting there at home. I'm programming you while you're not working out, right? Talking about diet, I can't tell you how many times a day I get text messages, phone calls, emails, requests for like dietary information or like adjustments to workouts. Like all of that is taken into account with the hourly rate that a trainer charges, right? If your trainer is charging you $40 an hour, then more than likely his effective rate is probably closer to 25 or 30. I think that's a myth, Bryn. I think that's a myth. That's a myth. It's the same thing as when you were told that you have to that if you don't wear a jacket in the cold, you'll get sick. You don't actually get sick from being cold. Now you can get like hypothermia, but you don't get a cold from being cold. So temperature, I mean, it could possibly reduce your effectiveness of your immune system or something, but you don't actually get colds from being colds. So when they tell you put on a jacket or you're going to catch a cold, that's not true. Are you talking to me, Mark, that you do get a cold from being cold? You don't get a cold from being cold. It is a misnomer. It is a misnomer. It is a myth. Colds, flus, viruses, illnesses are caused by viruses and germs. Colds are caused by viruses and germs. Cold weather does not carry viruses and germs. The reason why we get, I'm going to blow your guys' minds, right? You don't get sick from being too cold. You can get hypothermia if you count that as being sick. Or frostbite. So, hear me out. This is why more people get ill during the winter, right? That's why flu season kind of correlates, colds correlate. That is the one thing. So it can affect your immune system negatively. But if you don't come into contact with the virus in the first place, no matter how cold you get, if you don't come in contact with the germ or virus, you're not going to catch it. But the virus has to be present. The virus has to be present for it to happen. The cold does not cause it. So the reason why we get colds more often in the cold seasons, right? The reason why that happens is because everybody tends to stay indoors during the winter more than during the summer. And when we stay indoors in packed spaces with more people more often for longer periods of time, we're exposed to germs for longer periods of time from other people, right? So you're in buildings more often, in classrooms, in offices, you're going out less. So you're in and around other people more often. So that's why we have higher correlation of being ill with colder seasons, because everybody's indoors more. So yeah, there's no flu in Antarctica, guys. Well, you gotta wash your hands too, Mark. Yeah, also putting milk in before your cereal. I'm very sure about that, David. Very sure about that. I explained it. We talked about the immune system. So, lowered immune systems are a thing when exposed to cold temperatures. For extended periods of time, very cold temperatures can cause immune system to be slightly lower. But you still have to have presence of a cold or flu virus to catch it. If you're in a sterile room that's 30 degrees, right, not touching anything, and your body temperature is just low, you'll get hypothermia, but you're not going to catch a cold, right? Whereas if your immune system is compromised for some reason, your chances of catching a cold are higher, but the cold is not the cause of the cold. Does that make sense? Well, yeah, if you're going barefoot in the snow, you're probably not going to feel great the next day. What are you confused about, Noah? Yeah. I wouldn't say they thrive in cold weather. They thrive in areas inside during cold weather. It's like if I'm the only one in this gym, my chances of catching the flu are a lot lower than if there's 10 people in this gym, right? So during the winter months, people tend to be indoors more often, so you have more people to spread viruses in a small area. That's why viruses, one of the primary drivers of cold seasons in the winter are people are indoors more often around each other. And there's a lot more holidays that people celebrate together during the winter, like Halloween. Yeah, everybody's out talking to each other, going door to door. Thanksgiving, everybody's sitting around a table eating together. Christmas, people are, meeting up at each other's houses. There's a lot more social element during the winter, people together indoors. Think about the summer holidays. What do we have? Outdoor holidays. We grill. We light fireworks. We're outdoors, distanced from each other generally. I'm not specifically doing any RPE
I'm just kind of lifting right now, Noah. What do you mean? Oh, we're about to do the hundreds, Nathan. Those are next. That last set was 95 pounds. The hundreds are the heaviest these dumbbells go here, so. Look, Mark, everybody knows what this gym is called. The address is very public. You're more than welcome to come in for one of the workouts. You can even be on the stream, Mark. Feel free to pop up. Feel free to pop up. We'll work out, we'll bench. We'll bench together. I have a camera, you don't have to bring one. It seems like an excuse, Mark. If you really wanted to prove it, you'd show up. If you really wanted to prove it, you'd show up. ChatGPT can give you directions. ChatGPT can give you directions. It ran out of weight. That's a common problem, Rich. No, Mark. I wouldn't have that on your list of expectations. All right. That'll definitely make for an interesting stream, 100%, Bryn. 100%. That would probably be a very eventful stream. I'm okay, no, I appreciate it though. I'm not looking for advice. I appreciate it though, Noah. I don't know if we can live stream that. I don't know if we can live stream that. I think we definitely have a restriction on that stream specifically. It would get demonetized pretty quickly. That is the correct answer, Aldo. That is the correct answer. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm okay, Noah. I'm not interested in the advice. I'm going to be honest. I'm not interested in the advice. I'm going to be honest. Appreciate the thought, though. That is correct, Aldo. You are correct once again. Aldo is very correct. Greatest to ever do it. Greatest to ever do it. How much do I bench, Marco? You talking to me in particular? Or are you asking Aldo that? Because that's one of my favorite questions, Marco. That's one of my favorite questions. How about you tell me yours and I'll tell you mine? All right. I always have to answer the question first. I feel like I've answered that question so many times over the year that I've been streaming. Solid work, Marco. That's not bad. Not bad at all. 365. It's a little over 2 times my body weight currently at 365. A little over double body weight. So. All right, we got shouldies. I have a couple of ab workouts on my channel. If you go to the Coach Chris playlist, I have some ab workouts, some leg workouts, some upper body stuff, all in the coaching playlist. But yeah, if you want visible abs, your body fat's gonna have to be right. You're gonna have to make your food right. If you're looking to just strengthen your core, you can work it out, sure. But if you're looking, what most people are looking for is visible abs. If you're looking for visible abs, I've got news for you. It's time to start eating right. Yeah. And that's not the answer anybody wants, you know, that food is the key, because it's not the easy answer. Chicken, rice, and vegetable for fun. Honestly, it's not that. You don't have to do that. Will that work? Will chicken and rice and some broccoli help you get abs? If you're eating the right amounts, yes. Fair life equals abs. These are correct. These are correct statements, I feel. These are correct statements. Hold on, guys. I'm in the U.S. If I could relate myself to any anime character, which one would I be? I don't know. Give me a moment to think on that one. I don't travel out of the country very often, I'm going to be honest. Welcome, all the way from Brazil, and someone all the way from Pakistan as well. Welcome to the stream. Always cool to have international viewers. But I don't travel out of the country very often, guys. I don't travel out of the country very often. Let me grab this set and then we'll talk some more. Get the shoulders moving, guys. Yeah! Absolutely not, Noah. I want it above my chin, actually, 100%. I want it between nose and chin level for this. So right about here. That is the ideal point for this exercise for me specifically, Noah. Welcome to the stream, Noah, but I'm not interested in advice. All right, not interested. 3-time Mr. Olympia. I'll take your word for it, Nick. I'll take your word for it. Peanut butter does have protein. That is not incorrect. But it has a lot of fat as well. Fat isn't bad, but you're getting a lot of your calories from peanut butter from fat. It's not a super lean protein. That is the other part of peanut butter, right? That's okay. They can do that, Noah. I'm not interested. I'm not interested. But the other thing is it's not a complete protein. So peanut butter is not a complete profile for amino acids, right? You have to add another protein source to complete the amino acid profile. Get all 9 essential aminos. So peanut butter protein is good, but not great, right? Now, if you're bulking and want to do peanut butter sandwiches, use a whole grain bread. You'll complete your essential aminos, right? With that specifically, and then you'll be able to pack on pounds. But mind you, it's not a super lean option, so you're going to get a lot of calories as compared to the protein content. So. Aldo, I feel like you think you're contributing more to the chat than you are, I'm gonna be honest. I just don't want, I'm not here to be coached. That's it, and that's okay. Some people don't realize that. Everybody thinks they have something to add, and it's not always the case. It's not always the case, I'm sorry to tell you. So Noah, this is what I'm gonna say. So it sounds like you're either new to trying to help coach, or you're new to lifting or something along those lines. Different ranges of motions have different benefits and different targets. So different rep ranges, different ranges of motion, different variations on form, all have different targets. So if I was trying to target my pectoral a little more, I might come down lower, but I already benched today. I'm not necessarily targeting my pectoral specifically. I want this to be primarily a shoulder routine, right? I'm looking for overhead press here, not incline bench. That's why my incline is very slight here. Now, that being said, is there a variation of this that does go lower? Yes, but you're going to have a different target. So, yes, well, you're speaking like you are. So, I don't know. You know, if you're not super familiar with coaching, probably not a good idea to go in and coach people online without information. Anybody that goes into a stream and starts giving out coaching advice based on what they see in an hour and a half stream is probably not you're probably not doing the right thing when it comes to coaching, because there's a lot more information you need before you give advice to coach somebody. I am a certified coach. I'm certified personal trainer. I'm certified nutritionist. I have a separate glute certification, certified coach, fitness coach, multiple certifications, several certifications. And I was a full-time fitness trainer, and I managed a fitness department for a big box gym. So I'm also a competing, successfully competing powerlifter. Several first place finishes. Felt good. I mean that's my stuff. That's what I do. That's what I do, guys. How much was this? This is 185. That was 185 for 3. This is going to be 205 for a double, and then we'll do a single. And then we might do a drop set depending on how a single feels. But I don't think so fast. I don't think that's the case. Welcome to the stream, though. You know what, Mark? We'll do it together. You go ahead, grab your camera, and we'll do a tandem stream. You'll do 275, then I'll do 275. We'll trade it back and forth. I don't know, Noah. Noah, what's your bench currently? Mind you, Noah, this is a powerlifting stream, so this is an important question. When you're coaching someone that's actively powerlifting and that's their goal, is to have heavier benches and things along those lines, that's the goal. So that's going to be the ultimate question here. How much is your bench, Noah? And the reason I ask that is because that is literally my goal at all times, is to bench heavy things. So you didn't ask my goals, so maybe you want to backtrack a little bit at this point. But if you want to go ahead and enlighten us on your bench press, because you don't accidentally get to a 2 times body weight bench press naturally, right? You don't accidentally get there. You have to train properly for it. I'm gonna be. All right. My bench PR candidate is 365 currently, double body weight currently. There's a lot of blocked messages, guys. You don't accidentally get to a double body weight bench. It's very, very controlled programming. Very controlled programming. Everybody is a fitness coach nowadays, right? Everybody's a fitness coach nowadays, and they're not. So at 180 hitting 405, that would put you realistically in like, let's take a look, because that realistically puts you in like the top 0.01% of everybody at that body weight. Do you actively power lift? Because that would be a number at 180 that most competing powerlifters, even at like the national level, are competing with. So that would be very impressive if you have proof of it. That'd be very impressive if you have proof of it. I still don't want your advice, to be fair, but it would be very impressive. Power lifter, power builder, power lifter, 2 different things. It is a very high number. QAnon is a very high number. Now here's the kicker. Here's the kicker: is that when people make extraordinary claims come with need of evidence. I don't know if you can bench press your own weight, Nathan, but it's definitely possible. I don't watch a lot of anime, Mark, so I couldn't tell you. There are definitely strong lifters in Canada, guys. Don't get it mistaken. There are very strong lifters in Canada. So here's what I'm saying though, Noah. The number that you're claiming, right, at 405, do you have a video? Do you have social media? I'd be more than happy to share your video on my channel. I'll check your channel real quick. I'd be more than happy to share it if you have video proof. There's not a lot of people that are benching elite world-class numbers for their body weight that have never recorded a single bench press. So if you don't have it, I'd be surprised. And you don't have any shorts or videos. You have one. I'm gonna have to say, I honestly, the only thing on your channel is like a volleyball short. I'm gonna say that I can't take your word for it on that one. I usually do, but I'm gonna be honest. Without proof on that one, I'm gonna have to politely say that without proof, we're gonna not take your word on that one. Nothing wrong with volleyball. That's not the problem. It's just benching world-class numbers. Generally, if you record sport footage like volleyball, you probably record a 405 bench press at 180. Yes, I can lift that helmet. Yeah, and guys, I almost always take people's word for it, but that was an extraordinary claim, right? 405 at 180 is a world-class lift, right? That is a world-class lift, especially if it's not to a powerlifting like standard of press, right? Even not powerlifting standard, 405 without a pause is world-class. At a powerlifting standard, it's beyond, right? So, people never expect me to check things and check into things. We've only had to do it a few times. And I think we were only ever surprised by the results once. We had one guy that came in here a long time ago, older guy that said he was benching some crazy numbers. And he actually, I remember we looked him up that night and it was true. He was like a world-class lifter. Cool dude though. Mind you, that guy came in and he wasn't trying to give advice. He was just talking about his lifts. So, because he understood how things work. So, we did look him up. The military guy, I think he was military. Yeah, Hey, Mossberg! What's up, Mossberg? I'm glad someone remembers that guy. And he was legit, but we looked him up and we proved it. But like I said, that guy had provable evidence. He had an act. We were actually able to find his numbers. So, here's the thing, guys. There's not a way to debate whether or not Canada has very strong athletes. Every country in the world, by and large, produces strong athletes, right? They all have their top tier athletes. Countries also have sports they specialize in, right? So some countries specialize in aerobic sports, some specialize in weight training type sport like powerlifting or Olympic lifting. Canada produces really, really strong strongmen, really strong powerlifters, really strong Olympic lifters. They produce strong lifters. Mind you, you guys have to realize that Canadians are similar in the form that their dietary and their lifestyles are vaguely close to the US compared to the rest of the world, right? So you would expect at least a vague similarity in builds muscle mass between the two, right? Because we live on the same continent. Our availability of product is essentially the same, right? The foods that are common here are common there, things along those lines, right? So you're gonna have very similar results from both countries. That being said, South Carolina, strongest state in the United States, which makes it the strongest region in the world. Hands down, no questions asked. But you cannot say that Canada doesn't produce strong lifters, strong athletes. Does the US produce the most generally of that? Yes. The US produces a ton of super strong, very successful athletic athletes, right? We are top tier in athletics. But that doesn't mean Canada is not producing top tier athletes. There's not a lot of countries that produce as many athletes as the US. It's a big thing here. It's college football coaches are the highest paid public employee in the US, right? We pay college football coaches millions of dollars here to coach college level football, right? We are very much a sport-centric country. We value it significantly. So yes, we produce athletes at a very fast pace. That being said, am I highly competitive? Yes. But I will never take away from any country what they've earned. And Canada has definitely earned their right to say they've produced top tier athletes, especially in the lifting field. So. Yeah, you're talking about tariffs on Canada's act. I don't know if anybody can make a legitimate argument that Canada doesn't produce. Like here, let's do a quick Google search, right? It's as easy as this. Everybody has access to Google, right? It's pretty common item. All right. All right, so we were talking about MMA, right, for Canada. So ones that have qualified for the top 10 at some point in their career. I'm not a big MMA guy, so I don't know these athletes for the most part. But you've got George St. Pierre was a top 10 welterweight, middleweight, Rory McDonald, Carlos Newton, Patrick Cope. And there's some other notables, but those are the top. They've all been at some point in the top 10 for MMA during their careers. So there's definitely top MMA athletes that have been produced in Canada. Now I don't partake in MMA personally, so I couldn't tell you, how long they were in the top 10, if they deserved it, whatever else. Mark is a vegan? Mark, when did you become a vegan? That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing, Mark. I'm gonna need proof that you're not a vegan. With extraordinary claims, Mark, comes extraordinary needs of evidence, and I'm gonna need evidence, extraordinary evidence. We're gonna need a video of you eating a whole live cow. Hoof first. You gotta go from the hoof up. All right. All right, we've got, what do we got next, guys? We've got squats and deadlifts. Squats and deadlifts, guys. I don't know what Animal Planet you're watching, Mark, but we have different cable, I think. I think my cable and your cable is a little different, Mark. Because I ain't never seen that Animal Planet episode. So to be vegan and healthy is kind of not necessarily, in my opinion, possible. You can be alive and you can be a, yes, I definitely got my milk, Directo. Welcome back. You can be alive and vegan, but you're not going to be what I would consider healthy. Yeah, Mark, okay, so Mark, hear me out. I've never been to that part of the Animal Planet channel. I'm pretty sure they keep that on special websites that you're not supposed to. I don't think Mark's actually vegan, don't worry. I don't think Mark's actually vegan, all right? He eats too much Cinnamon Toast Crunch for veganism, all right? All right. Do I believe I have an ego? Everybody has somewhat of an ego. You have to, if you have no ego at all, that's not good. This whole thing, if you have to be completely humble all the time, is not a good thing. People are too afraid to be, toxically masculine nowadays, and they don't want to be seen as aggressive at all or over the top. It's definitely blown out of proportion. A little bit of ego is okay, and it's actually healthy. You should value yourself. It's a self-value. You should think highly of yourself. If you don't think highly of yourself, you need to work on that. You need to work on that. Ego is just highly thinking highly of yourself. That's okay. You have nothing to prove to anybody except yourself. You can think highly of yourself and have an ego. I mean, why not? Who's it hurting ultimately? Nobody. I wouldn't state it that way, Mark. I wouldn't put it in those words. I would say that thinking you're great at something or thinking you are the best at something is not a problem. Here's the thing though, surround yourself with great people you think are great people, and then you will become what you surround yourself with generally, right? So if you're around people that are super healthy and super conscious about their health, you'll slowly start to some of those practices and mindsets. Vice versa, if you surround yourself with people that aren't doing that stuff, a lot of the time that'll derail you if you're not super dedicated and disciplined. There is exceptions, obviously, but surround yourself with people, friends, things like that, that have similar lifestyles and similar goals to what you want, and a lot of the time it'll rub off. We're going to open with 135. We're going to open with 135, obviously, but Just get warmed up. All right, let's add some more weight. I would say there's only one situation where being vegan is advantageous in any form or fashion, guys, and that is, I wouldn't say advantageous. It's not advantageous. There's only one time I'll say that veganism makes sense. No, what do you say it makes sense? What is the? Look, guys, vegan is not better for your health than an omnivorous, well-rounded diet, right? A very well-maintained omnivorous diet is going to be superior to veganism for 99.99% of people, unless you have some weird allergies, right? Or some very intense allergies, I guess is a better way to put it. If you have a religious standpoint, or if you have like a moral standpoint that you want to stand on, that's everybody's prerogative and perspective, right? I don't care if you want to be vegan or if you decide to practice it, but don't tell other people that it's healthy, right? You can argue the moral standpoint all day, I don't care. But don't try to tell other people it's healthy to push your point. Argue it from a point of fact, right? Or a point of a moral argument. So, if you want to argue from a moral standpoint, that's completely up to you, but arguing it from a health standpoint is disingenuous. So yes, like I said, Seb, I don't agree with the moral standpoint on it necessarily. I get the point that they're trying to make. I understand the argument, but I don't agree with it necessarily, at all. But that's the only way I can see it being a fair argument to make, is if you're making it from a moral standpoint, right? If you're making it from a health standpoint, you're lying or at best being disingenuous. And Mark, about the tiger comment, Mark, about the tiger winning a fight in the jungle against me, all right, that is incorrect. I have already survived one tiger attack in my life, all right? It ain't nothing to survive a second one, you know what I'm saying? I've already been bit by a tiger. That's legitimate. I have been bit by a tiger, and I survived. I'm down for another tiger fight. $225 is our second. I didn't go to the hospital, Mark. I didn't go to the hospital after the tiger bite, actually. I didn't go to the hospital after the tiger bite. I actually did not. I 100% did not go to the hospital after the tiger bite. 100% didn't. 100% didn't go. So, I have been bitten by a tiger, attacked by a camel in my life, survived both attacks. Coco, the specifics, Coco, don't matter. It was a tiger. It was a real tiger, Nick. It was a real tiger, Nick. I was bit by an actual tiger. All right. survived. It had teeth, Mark. It was not a drive-in safari. The camel incident was a drive-through safari. I was attacked by a camel on a drive-through safari. Vaguely. Never been attacked by a squirrel, David. I was legitimately bit by a tiger, an actual tiger, not a household cat. All right, whether or not it was a juvenile tiger or a fully grown tiger is besides the point. But it was a tiger nonetheless. It had all its teeth. All right, so. I did have a cat named Tiger as a kid, but that wasn't the one. That wasn't the one. I don't need 10 of me. I'm good one-to-one with a gorilla. We proved that. We proved that already, guys. I'm good one-to-one with a gorilla. Every day of the week. So the tiger, okay. So those of you that are new here, I've told the tiger story a couple times. I was at a zoo that does animal encounters. What's up, cats? Welcome back. Welcome back. Yeah, I remember you coming through. Welcome back. Appreciate you coming back. So I was at an animal encounter. So you paid like $500 and you got to do a private animal encounter at a rescue zoo, right? The money went towards the animals and the rescues, but they had an option. You got to pick which animals you did encounters with, and it was private one-on-one encounters. You had like a zookeeper there, and they just put you in a room with animals, right? I was in like an auditorium, and you literally just sit in some bleachers, and the animal gets on your lap and plays with you. Some really cool exotic animals. I got to play with a baby tiger or a juvenile tiger. He was about yay big, right? And I got to play with a baby giraffe, an armadillo, a joey, so like a baby kangaroo, among other animals, the marsupials that came in, all kinds of cool stuff, right? And while I was playing tug of war with the juvenile tiger, it nipped down on my hand real quick. Didn't hurt me, obviously, but nipped down on my hand. I think it was my right hand. So I have officially, in my lifetime, been bit by a tiger. There's not a lot of people that can say that, regardless of the size or the age of the tiger. No, it was here in South Carolina. So, the camel attack was a whole different thing. The camel wanted food that was in the car, and it decided that it had to go through me and past me to get to said food, and that I was not going to stop it. And I don't know if you guys have ever been up close to a camel. Their necks are like this big around. So they're very large. Looking for Fairlife. That's I get my Fairlife fresh from the source. I get tickets to the local zoo and break into the petting zoo. That's a 45-pound plate. They're just the fitness gear plates. They're weirdly shaped or weirdly sized, but they are 45s. Yeah, Mark, why would we do anything between the two? So 135, you know, you double it, you vaguely get close to 225. It's a little bit, you know, not exact. And then 225 almost doubled, around doubled is 405. It's easy math, right? It's easy math. Easy math. All right, 405. This is 405, yes. Full plates. So now, yeah, we got to. Let me get a quick sippy sip of the milk. Quick sippy sip of the milk. Yeah. All right. Quick single, nothing heavy yet. It felt really light, so I did 3. Well, I changed my mind, Bryn. I changed my mind. It felt kind of light, I'm going to be honest. Mark, look, you're supposed to be here tomorrow for the workout, so I would go ahead and start driving now. According to ChatGPT, you should be able to get here as long as you do like 3 or 4 times the speed limit the whole way without stopping. Also, bring gas. You're going to have to fuel as you go. You're not going to be able to stop to get gas. I said GPT. So if you want to run a funnel to your gas tank from the inside of the driver's window with a tube and just pour the gas in the tube as you're going, so you're going to have to steer with your knee for a little while. You might want to drop it to like 100 mile an hour if you're going to steer with your knee, though. I wouldn't recommend 200 plus. GPT. We speak American around here, all right? In the South, all right? Oh, we gotta squat, guys. We gotta squat. Let's squat. No, we just squats yesterday. We'll squat anyways. Why? Because we can. Because who's gonna tell us not to? Power lifter, Dereco. Power lifter. You guys. My accent is not super heavy, no. Let me move some stuff out of the way, guys. I do compete actively, yes. I train my clients at a variety of gyms, but this is my home gym, like my primary location. I have reduced my clientele list pretty significantly over the last year. But I generally train between, I usually keep an active roster around like 15 to 20 people. At my peak when I was training like full time all the time, really nothing else to do, I was training 40 people at once. Not in one session obviously, but like throughout the week. But 40 people was about the peak of how many people I trained at one time actively. No, Mark, I wouldn't say so. Yeah, yes, I would say, yeah, I do. I definitely do. All together, all of my different work and business ventures combined definitely exceed 40 hours. Definitely exceed 40 hours. Hey, JL, I'm glad to find out that I'm still right here trapped in your brain, all right? Rent-free, JL, rent-free in your head. That's what it is. Rent-free. Rent-free, JL. Rent-free in your head, boss. I know all of my viewers, JL. See, I come on this stream, my name's attached to the stream, JL. So part of the stream, I like to recognize people that come in here and watch me. I would call them, a lot of them, fans. JL, you're a fan, you just don't want to admit it. So welcome to the fan club, JL. You're gonna get a t-shirt with my face on it next right here. It says "Hoo-wee" right across the bottom. We can make it happen. Mark, I usually walk up to them at the gym, like while they're benching, and I curl whatever they have on the bar, and I say, "You want to do that?" And then they say yes. And then I reach in their pocket and take their wallet out and like count out the money, and then put it in my pocket and hand the wallet back. And that's how I get that's how I get all my clients. Rent-free, JL, rent-free. You're the one coming here. I'm not the one going to your channel. Remember that. Remember that. Remember, this gym is very public about where I work out. You're more than welcome to stop in for a session. I do charge for sessions though, JL, so. That's weird. That's a weird ask, JL, I'm gonna be honest. I don't talk about income on stream, twins. That's just a personal preference. Ugh. What's that, twins? I'm not gathering where your question is. You said something about 20 clients. You're asking what I do for work outside the stream? No, yeah, I don't get like an income from like family. I mean, they would if I needed an assist, I'm sure. 385 is my PR, Nathan, but not to depth, not to proper depth, to be fair. It wasn't like competition depth. So. JL, you're just gonna have to accept the fact that I'm in your brain right now. You gotta realize, twins. I've been an adult since I was like 17. I've been doing adult things, right? I had my children early. I started my career early, so I established myself a lot earlier than most. I established myself a lot earlier than most. I had my first investment account when I was like 18, right? So I had my first 401k running when I was 18 years old. Like, I've been doing the adult thing for a lot longer than most. So it just all depends what kind of lifestyle you live, guys. I don't go fishing. I do like fishing. I don't go fishing very often. JL, you don't talk about the chat. When you come in here, you can talk to me. But here's what I'm going to do for you, JL. You're going to go on a timeout, all right? JL, you're going to get a 60-second timeout to think about what you're doing. I want you to think about the way you're being towards people in the chat, and me, of course, sure. I'm less worried about me, all right? But you don't talk to people in the chat rudely, all right? It's different. So you got a 60-second timeout, okay? When you come back, I want you to try and be a nicer person, okay? It's not hard. It's not hard, okay? So, sorry I had to do that to you, JL, but you needed it. You needed it. All right. Let's grab this. Get our warm-up done. Well, JL sits in the timeout corner. The heaviest we've done bicep curls, non-strict, is 165. Strict is like 140, 145, maybe 150. Buying a house right now, I wouldn't want to give financial advice on the stream, to be fair. I purchased my first house 5 years ago, somewhere in that ballpark, 5 to 7 years ago maybe. I purchased my first house when I was like 24 or 23. But you know, that was, I'd been working already at that point for 5-6 years, getting prepared for that. Biceps are one of those things, Robert, that it very quickly can go from a really clean rep to a really, really dirty injury. You know what I'm saying? You got to be careful. One little mess up, you know? I'm going to get a cow next. At some point I will own horses, but I'm getting a cow next. It will be my next add to the land. So I need a little bit more land. I've got a ½ acre now. I need a little bit more land before I add a cow. So all right, let's get this weight on the bar. I think JL left. I think he got upset that I gulagged him. I think JL got upset that I put him in the gulag. That's what it seems like, at least. Guys, by the way, for those of you that are not regulars, JL comes in here like once every few nights. He's been doing it for over a month, I believe. So when I said I'm stuck in his head, I am really stuck in his head. And I'm not even trying to be stuck in his head, right? He just keeps showing up. Like he doesn't have to be here. You know what I'm saying? That's the crazy part. That's the crazy part. Is that the bodybuilder that just passed away, twins? I saw an article, but I haven't looked at it yet to see who it was. I was busy all day with work stuff. I have to go back and look at the article. I'm trying to give him the opportunity. When I put people in the gulag and I don't ban them permanently, it's legitimately a lot of the time for them to hopefully see some more of the stream, maybe change their attitude and mindset. A lot of the time they don't, but I have had people turn around in the stream and become, very fun to be around in the stream. I guess I know. I have no idea who you're talking about then, twins. I thought you were talking about the bodybuilder. There's a bodybuilder that just passed away. I had to go and look in, like a very, very successful bodybuilder from what I'm gathering. I just haven't seen the name yet, but I haven't heard anything about the NFL player. I don't follow the NFL, so. I mean, I don't know anything about him, but I mean, if he committed that kind of crime, I wouldn't feel really sorry for him. I mean, that's a pretty serious offense. It's pretty rough. I mean, regardless of the amount he paid her. Regardless of the amount he paid her, it's still, I can see why why they fired him. So. All right, let's grab this. It's a possibility. It's a possibility he keeps trolling. I completely agree, Seb and Nathan. There's 100% a possibility that he continues to troll. And you guys are probably correct. I should just ban him. But I can always do it if it continues, I always have that option. So, and it doesn't bother me. I don't get bothered very easily. I don't get riled up very easily. I not like trying to like make myself sound like like I'm unangerable, right? Like everybody can get upset, but it takes a lot. I'm pretty well adjusted, I feel. Who's that, Suray? I only saw that message there. I must have missed the first message. I might have gotten lost in the sauce here. Hold on. I don't see your other message. Maybe I'm not getting all the messages. It's a possibility. That's a very specific thing. That's a very specific thing, Nate, to gain 337 pounds. It's interesting that you kept up with the exact number. I'm going to say We're gonna do 315 for some reps tonight, guys. I'm not going super heavy on. We're not for reps. We're doing 315 for singles tonight, guys. We're not gonna go super heavy. What, Tyler? What guy? What guy are we talking about? Is that who it was that passed away, Saray? I hadn't read the article yet. That was today, I think, that happened, or yesterday. All right, breathing in. Yeah, they got a couple of fitness gear plates. I've actually noticed a lot of gyms carrying these now, believe it or not. There was a point where you couldn't get plates and dumbbells during COVID, where it was like near impossible to get workout equipment. So a lot of gyms, these were available at the time periodically. So a lot of gyms purchased some fitness gear plates during COVID. They are. They're super accurate weight wise. I've weighed the fitness gear plates and they're almost exactly 45 pounds. They're like within like ounces, right? Actually, these plates right behind them, these ones with the handles that look a lot more gym bro. Those are actually half a pound overweight. They're 45 and a half. And then the one right behind it is almost exactly 45. It's like an ounce low. So I've seen 100-pound plates. There's one gym that I know of out here that has 100-pound plates that I'm aware of. There's a powerlifting gym down the street from me. They don't have very good hours, so we don't stream from there. But they have 100-pounders. What's up, Val? Heaviest dumbbell any of the gyms around here have that I've seen is 150 or 170. I haven't seen any 300-pounders. Maybe there might be one at the powerlifting gym, like off on the side somewhere. But on the main rack, I think they go up to like $170. I'm sure they have adjustables there somewhere where you can add weight. I just haven't looked for them, to be honest. I'm sure there's heavier ones, but that's the heaviest I've worked with here. I did rows, I think up to 150 is the highest I've used dumbbells. I reckon that pressing, I could probably get close to $150 on the dumbbells, close. I honestly don't know. I have to check one day flat dumbbell. I don't do a lot of flat dumbbell work, so. All right, let's grab this weight. We're doing a single here, and then we'll debate what we're doing from there. We're doing a single here, not doing a ton of squats because we did a lot of reps last night, full depth reps last night. So we're gonna do a lighter volume on the squat tonight. Yeah. One more, one more.
Dang it.
Yeah, I wouldn't run around saying that, twins. I wouldn't run around saying that. Usually if you don't know the meaning of a term, you should probably Google it first. Yeah, we already benched. Yeah, we already benched. Bench was the first thing we do every night. Yeah, I'm a natural lifter personally. I like natural lifting. It's good. That's it, guys. That's it for the night. I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna rest. It's time for me to get some sleep. Tomorrow we'll be back on. Tomorrow we'll be back on for another stream. We'll be back on around the same time. If you guys want to support the stream, like it when you're here. It helps out a lot. Don't forget subscribe. And then you can become a channel member and you get cool emojis and whatnot. And it helps out. It helps out. I have a lot of big plans for the channel over the next, back half of the year. A lot of fun stuff. So if you want to help support some of those goals and some of those cooler streams and going to do fun stuff, like at one point we did rock climbing. I plan on doing that again. Becoming a channel member or sending the super chat, super helpful. Channel member, it's like, I think I have it set to like $3 or something, like $3.99. Helps out a lot, guys. Helps out a lot. Super helpful, super supportive. But all right, I appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow around the same time. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, going to be earlier streams. Maybe twins. I haven't decided. Probably not with one of my clients. Most clients like to keep their stuff private, but it's possible one day someone will want something like that. If I had a client that was up for it, I 100% would. But there's not a lot of people that want to live stream struggle. You know what I'm saying? That's a rare thing. And some of those personal training sessions can be a struggle bus a lot of the time. They're very intense workouts, especially when they're more volume heavy. So, all right. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Appreciate y'all.